For Minnesota farmers, the math right now isn't mathing. Nearly everything it takes to grow a crop just costs way more money, while what they can sell it for has not gone up. So at Farmfest today, U.S. Ag Secretary Brooke Rollins said she hears you farmers, and she told them better days could come when this war with Iran ends. Here's Heidi.
Minnesota Farmfest is a celebration of the community that keeps you growing. Meanwhile, the amount of U.S. farms is shrinking.
The prices are too low. They can't pay the bills.
Ted Winter is one of many farmers we spoke to with the same top issue.
Probably prices.
Grain prices are low, fertilizer, fuel prices are high.
Lori and Earl Score are semi-retired farming corn and beans. They've had a few record crops in a row, which isn't all good news.
When you put record crops on top of each other, what happens? You end up with a whole bunch of stuff, okay? And so the prices go down because there's no demand, because you got more than you know what to do with. It is what it is, but time is basically the biggest thing. And, you can't create demand, Now you also got your geopolitical stuff, China can all of a sudden say, oh, we're going to buy today, and then, oh, I guess not.
The tariffs that were put on our beans by President Trump in his first term, and now the tariffs that have been part of the second term, have just devastated the value of our products in the world to sell. The extra excess that we can't use domestically has to be exported. And when you have an export market that's so unsure for people who want to buy our products, like the Chinese or like anybody else in the world, they basically back away from buying our stuff. So then we end up with more supply, more overhead over the farms, and then you end up with lower prices.
And just you look at the costs, overall costs, it costs to produce per acre, that number has gone up dramatically.
And I think some of the additions are the incredible input costs it takes to grow a crop or, finish out your livestock, as well as this growing gap we have generationally with the American farmer between our older generation, our experienced generation, versus some of the young men and women looking to take part in agriculture.
All problems that need to be addressed to keep Minnesota farms growing.
It's not right. It's not right because our product, no matter whether it's the first bushel or the 200th bushel, should be worth enough that it could pay the bills, provide stability for the farm families, and provide good quality food for the people who live in our country.
Some farmers are also dealing with drought conditions. The latest report from the U.S. Drought Monitor showed northeastern Minnesota in severe drought. The scores told me the more than 3 inches of rain they got last week in Minnesota was huge for their corn. Now they need more rain this month for their beans. Jana.
Yeah, we can't really control the weather either, but John did share the outlook. It looks like rain is favorable for the next couple of weeks. But it seems like, Heidi, from what I'm hearing, it was loud and clear that all of this instability just means less farms. People just aren't going to want to do it.
Right, and that was resounding what I heard. It was all about those input costs and the crop prices and just not being able to make up the difference.
All right, well, thanks for getting out there and talking to our farmers. I'll be right back.